Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar, Gujarat. His father, Karamchand Uttamchand Gandhi, was the Diwan, Chief Minister of the princely state of Porbandar. His mother's name was Putliba. In 1876, Gandhi's father became the Diwan of Rajkot, where Gandhi started his schooling at the age of 9. He was an average and shy student at school, with no interest in games. His only companions were books and school lessons. In May 1883, the 13-year-old Gandhi was married to 14-year-old Kasturbai Makanji Kapadia, according to the custom of the region at that time. The Gandhi couple had 5 children between 1885 and 1900. In late 1885, Gandhi's father, Karamchand Gandhi, died. In November 1887, the 18-year-old Gandhi graduated from high school in Ahmedabad. In January 1888, he enrolled for degree at Samaldas College in Bhavnagar, but he dropped out later and returned to his family in Porbandar. A family friend had advised Gandhi and his family that he should consider law studies in London if he has to keep up the family tradition of holding high office in one of the states in Gujarat. His family and community were against this idea, but his brother Lakshmi Das, who was already a lawyer, supported him. Gandhi sailed to London from Mumbai on 4 September 1888. He joined the Inner Temple, one of the 4 London law colleges. In June 1891, Gandhi completed his studies and returned to India to practice law. His mother had died while he was in London. His family had kept the news from him. Gandhi wanted to practice law in Mumbai, but failed because of his shyness. In the very first case, he argued in a Bombay court. He failed miserably. He returned to Rajkot to make a modest living by drafting petitions for litigants. In 1893, he got a job offer as a lawyer from a shipping business firm in South Africa owned by Indians. In April 1893, at the age of 23, Gandhi left for South Africa. He spent 21 years in South Africa, where he developed his political views and ethics. The white people who ruled South Africa did not treat the non-whites equally at that time. Gandhi was quickly exposed to discrimination because of his skin color and heritage. He was thrown out of the first-class compartment of a train while traveling to Pretoria because first-class compartments were reserved for the whites. He was not allowed entry in hotels reserved for the whites. Life for non-white people was difficult in South Africa, but Gandhi decided not to accept injustice, but defend his dignity as an Indian and as a human being. In 1894, Gandhi was about to return to India. It was at that time the Legislative Assembly in the province of Natal was considering a bill to deprive Indians of the right to vote. The Indian community requested Gandhi to take up the fight on their behalf. This incident marked the beginning of Gandhi's public life as a political campaigner. In 1894, he founded the Natal Indian Congress to organize the Indian community and fight for their rights. It was in South Africa Gandhi tried satyagraha for the first time against a local government that published an ordinance for the registration of its Indian citizens. This struggle started in 1906 and continued for almost 7 years till the government accepted the demands of Gandhi. At the request of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Gandhi returned to India in 1915. South Africa transformed Gandhi as a leader. Gandhi ended the freedom movement of India by declaring a satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act introduced by the British. The act empowered the authorities to imprison anyone without a trial in court. This resulted in a nationwide agitation against the British. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre was also a result of the agitations against the Rowlatt Act. By 1920, Gandhi became a prominent figure in the political stage. He reorganized the 35-year-old International Congress as an organization fighting for freedom. He started the non-violent non-cooperation movement that boycotted British products and the institutions operated by them. In March 1930, Gandhi launched the Salt March, a satyagraha against the British imposed tax on salt that affected the poorest sections of the society. In 1934, Gandhi resigned from the Congress party. He wanted to focus on his mission of building the nation. He wanted to fight against untouchability, promote hand spinning, weaving, and other cottage industries. With the outbreak of World War II, the Indian freedom struggle entered a crucial phase. Once again, Gandhi became politically active. He launched the Quit India movement, which demanded the immediate exit of the British from India. When the Labour Party came to power in Britain in 1945, discussions started between the British government, leaders of the Congress Party, and the Muslim League, which eventually led to Indian independence and formation of Pakistan. It was one of the greatest disappointments in Gandhi's life that Indian freedom was realized without Indian unity. The word Mahatma, great soul, is taken from the Sanskrit words Maha, meaning great, and Atma, meaning soul. Rabindranath Tagore is said to have accorded the title to Gandhi. Gandhi was the catalyst of three of the major revolutions of the 20th century: the movement against colonialism, racism, and violence. The story of my experiments with truth is the autobiography of Gandhi. The most famous movie made on his life is titled Gandhi, released in 1982. The 1996 film, The Making of the Mahatma, documented Gandhi's time in South Africa. Gandhi influenced important political movements and leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. Indians consider Gandhi as the father of the nation. It is said that it was Subhash Chandra Bose who addressed Gandhi as the father of the nation for the first time. In 2007, the United Nations General Assembly declared Gandhi's birthday, 2nd October, as the International Day of Nonviolence. Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like our content.